Hi everyone, happy Friday. Welcome to my studio. Today's video is going to be a Teesha Moore inspired video. I am resurrecting her patches. She makes these little things, or she made these little things, it's over a decade ago. She called them pillows. So I have put my own spin on them a little bit, and I hope that you'll enjoy watching my video. I will leave her link in the description box below so you can go and see what she did, and please do, because she made so many things and you'll get very inspired by it. So I created this little box too, and isn't it cute? I actually had my paintbrushes and stuff in here, so you can put some things in here as long as they're not too tall or whatever. But you can make boxes, you can make purses, book covers, placemats, the list goes on and on. So I hope you'll enjoy it, and it's a very fun, once you prepare the patches, very portable project. So I love making them. I've got like 100 of them sitting on my sewing machine right now. I want to make a bag for the beach. So here's some of my patches. All right, let's get started with the video. I hope you enjoy it. Please leave me comments. I love hearing from you. That's the best part of this whole YouTube thing, is the community. All right, bye for now. Let's go over the supplies first. You're going to need some kind of a ruler. I like the clear ones. Use whatever you have. Nice sharp pair of fabric scissors and or a rotary cutter. You're going to need some pins, probably here and there along the way, so just have them handy. Some batting, and I have two options here, but if you can think of something else, that's great. So this is the batting that you put in a quilt, and this is a very thick flannel, and I have used this before, and I like the way that works up. So there is some stuffing, you might say, in between these two layers of fabric, and it is not poly fluff stuffing. It is something like this. So see if you have something around the house that you can use. Embroidery floss, and I'm using lots of different colors because I'm going to be using novelty fabrics. You can also use pearl cotton. I use size 5. And it's optional if you want to use a sewing machine or do it by hand. So let me show you my fabric. So you can use scrap fabrics, and I created this roll of novelty fabrics and put it in my Etsy shop for anybody who really didn't have fabrics, or for anybody who wanted more. And who doesn't want more fabric, right? This is my personal roll, and I've already cut into it in case you noticed some of the pieces at the end. So let me tell you about what's in here. There's 20 different novelty fabrics in here. They're all different colors and designs. And there's 20 different, and there should not be two of the same. And I said should not be because every once in a while I do make a boo-boo. But they're really fun and cute and bright, and they make a great patch. So I think that's it. If you order anything from our shop, would you be so kind as to just leave a message and say that you saw me on YouTube and that's why you were there. Brian is trying to figure out where all these orders are coming from, and we are tickled to death, so thank you so much. The shop that this is in is Shop at the Little House, and I will have the link in the description box below. All right, let's get started. Before we get started, I just wanted to talk to you about the patches themselves. I don't cut mine out in any particular size. Mine are very random. When I'm finished making all my patches, I will then put them together somehow. Well, it's like a puzzle for me, and sometimes they don't always all fit together perfectly. So you wind up with something like this, and that is perfectly fine for me. I can use this as a design element. I can go back and make another piece to fit in there. There's just so many options. I did, just for fun, make a bunch of patches all the same size. Well, because I'm going to make something specific with this. So that's why I did that. I made them all the same size. So you can make your patches random. You can cut them out in specific sizes, whatever way you like to work. And if you have a particular thing in mind that you want to make, so think about that. Step 1, cutting the patches. So the first thing I do is I get 2 pieces of cloth that are complementary. So I have the yellow on the back and the black, and then I have blue on the back and pink, and I like them to be happy. So I mix and match colors. Do not overthink this process. Just put 2 pieces together that you think look nice. And then what I do is cut out, so I do that, I cut out all my squares, rectangles, triangles, whatever shapes you want, in whatever sizes you want. You can do it random, you can, measure them out. Next we'll cut our batting out. Then what I do is I cut out all my batting to fit inside them with about a 1/2 inch seam, because I can always trim them back a little bit later. And see, so I have 2 pieces there, I have my batting, I just wanted to show you that. Then I put my batting in there, and if you wanted to hand stitch them, you can stick a little straight pin in there and just set it aside and put it in your sewing basket. Very portable. If you want to do it on the machine, you can just take them right over to the machine and stitch around the edge. Now, time to stitch around the patches. Whether you're hand stitching this or doing it with a sewing machine, you want your stitches to go right along the edge of the batting. Let me pick that up and show you. So there's the batting, and you want your stitch to go right on the outside of it, not through the batting. I thought, just in case anybody who has a Bernina and is going to use their Bernina, I'm using their number 10 foot, and it has like a little guide bar on it, and I put the guide bar right at the edge of the batting and just stitch like that. I did lots of these patches without this foot because I sewed a lot of them down at the beach last year and I didn't have this special foot, and you can just use a regular foot as well. After I stitch around all 4 sides, just trim off a very little bit from the edge, just like that. Don't trim it all the way back, just take a little bit off. Decorative stitching over the edge. I don't fuss about my thread. I am going to use pearl cotton number 5 to show you how to do this. So I've trimmed off my corners, and now I'm getting ready to stitch them down. And I go right in the corner where I stitched. I have a knot on the end. I fold the edge over. So after I fold it over, I want to anchor it down. So I do go right into the cloth right there. And that anchors the first stitch down. And then I fold this over. And you can go whichever direction you want. I'm going this way. And then I anchor that first fold over. I anchor that down right there in the point. So now once that's anchored down, then I just fold that over. And I don't keep going into the seam. I go right below it. And I don't care if my stitches are straight, if they're even, I don't care. I actually want them a little wonky because I think a big part of this project is that they are funky looking, funky patches. Freeform, funky. That's my style. wonky funky. So that's what I do. And so sometimes the string will do that, and I leave it there, but I'll show you if I don't leave it there, it'll be straight. So I just keep going and just keep making an adjustment with the seam just to push it over and just go in, and I'm going straight in, coming out the back. And that's it. I go all the way around like that. And when I get to the next corner, I do the same thing. And hold on and I'll show you. Here we go. So now I'm at the corner. I fold it down. I'm not quite at the corner. I give myself a little room to do this maneuver. Fold it down. Okay, so now I've got it folded down. And I'm going to have to do that again because I'm not quite close enough to anchor it. Fold it down. If I had a fingernail, I'd stick my fingernail in there. But all right, so now I'm ready to just anchor this. So I anchor that down by going right into the corner. And you can see my tip is still sticking out a little bit. It was a pretty big tip. So I'm going to cut that off. And you don't have to, trust me, I have left a lot of them in there. Now, when I get to this, right around this corner, I go right in to where I just folded that down, right above where I just cut it off. Okay, so now it's down. You could do 1 or 2 stitches if you like. And then I fold down the other side. And I do try to get it into somewhat of a corner here, and that these two sides somewhat meet. But that's just me. You can just leave them wonky. And then this one, of course, I told you I go right into the corner of the bottom to just stabilize it. And once I do that, then I'm back to my regular stitching, which is going right underneath the seam. And I just do it all the way around. As soon as I run out of this thread, I will use a different color. I have my thread, I have this pearl cotton in a box, and I'll just reach over and grab whatever color I have. I'm using pearl cotton this time, but when I use embroidery floss, I use 6 strands. Once I run out of thread, I'll just turn it over and put a knot on the back. So the first knot got hidden in the corner. If I run out of thread in the middle, I'll just do the same thing. I'll just take my needle and go up under here with the knot and start over again. All right, let's just pretend we're right at the end. Just going to grab a little bite and make a knot. And yes, the knots are going to show on the other side, and it doesn't bother me. So that's it. Start a new thread and keep going all the way around. So once you've got your edges wrapped, time to relax and slow stitch your patches. I like to do a whole bunch of them at once, and then you can go back and do some slow stitching on top of them. And you can see sometimes I just followed the pattern in the fabric, and sometimes I just went straight. Here is one that I just went right over the little motif that was on there, and you know, like that too. Sometimes I just make it up. That's the back, little circle. Time to put all the patches together. I would suggest that you get all your patches and lay them out according to what you've decided you're going to make before you start sewing them together. I'm going to show you how I stitch 2 patches together. You can really stitch them together any way you see fit. This is a free-form project and all bets are off. You can do anything. But I'm going to pick mine up and stitch it in an overhand stitch. But before I do, I have to get my thread in there. And I could just come from the back and leave a knot on the back. That's fine. But I've been experimenting with hiding the knot. And I just go into the cloth and I put my thumb down and pull. I pull on the string and the knot pops right through the cloth. So, and then I can start wherever I want. I just want you to know that the knots on the back do not bother me, but I just wanted to show you that there is an option to hide the knot when you're starting. So now I'm just going to put my needle, and I'm using yellow, hopefully you could see it. So now it's on the front, and I'm not all the way down here like when I was stitching. I'm right along the edge because I'm going to sew these 2 patches together. So I'm just going to hold them like this and do a whip stitch and get one stitch, at least one stitch right into the corner, and you're only going off the seam about 1/8 of an inch, and I'm just going to do a whip stitch all the way across. And if you're a tight stitcher, do a couple stitches and then stop and make sure that your piece is willing to lay back down flat, and mine is. So I'm happy. Now if you wanted to create something that was in a shape like a box or something, you would want to sew it like that for sure, and you could apply a little more pressure. And that's it for the stitching it together. It's really quite simple. So I got to the end, and if I wanted to stitch something else, I could just lay it down and I could just keep going. All right, I thought I would come on and see if anybody had any questions. Do you have any questions? What? Leave them in the comments below if you have any questions. Well, I just finished editing today's video and wanted to say bye for now. I'll see you next Friday. Bye.
Hey everybody, I was experimenting with something in this video and I'd like your feedback. So during the sections where I put up a little title card and I tell you what's coming next, somebody was listening to my video and wasn't watching it and said, gee, you know, your videos got quiet every once in a while, and wondered what was going on. So I decided to do a voiceover for that section. And also got me to thinking that the people that can't see might be wondering what the silence is as well. So let me know if you found that helpful or annoying. Thanks so much.